my last question for you, just want to talk about this Shakur Stevenson versus Teofimo Lopez fight. And a ton of people, and I guess rightfully so, not even I guess, rightfully so, have Shakur as the favorite. But the way people talk about it, they talk about it like Teo doesn't have a chance. And I'm just like, that's a 50-50 fight if I ever seen one, man. Teo is a little bit more athletic. He's a little faster, might hit harder. I mean, he's just explosive, man. Is that a fight where you're just like, yeah, Shakur's gonna have to be on his absolute A game to beat a guy like Tio?
I agree. Um, I think Shakur should probably be the favorite because he's the more consistent fighter.
Hmm.
I think we've seen Tio in tougher moments as far as like close to losing. Um, it was a it was a guy I forget his name, but Southpaw guy that gave Tio fits, and Jermaine Ortiz gave him fits. I forget the other guy's name; it's escaping my mind right now. But we've seen Tio has some tough nights with guys who give him movement or whatever. So it's definitely
Oh, Sandor Martin.
yes, 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 yes. He gave Tio a very, very tough fight.
Yeah.
So um it's very reasonable for people to favor Shakur over Tio. He's like I said, he's the more consistent fighter. Shakur don't have a fight where at the end of the fight you thought the other guy won. Um, but Teofimo is a guy that's hard to count out because he has those super nights where he looked like you like, God damn, this dude could beat anybody in the world. You
Yeah.
know, and his two biggest performances, he was the underdog, and it was versus Southpaws, versus Josh Taylor and Vasil Lomachenko.
Hmm.
And he just dominated Arnold Barbosa. He just dominated him. And Barbosa is one of those well-rounded fighters who know how to neutralize certain things that guys do, and he couldn't lay a hand on Teofimo. So Teofimo, while he's not as consistent as Shakur, it's like a guy like both guys. Okay, I'm gonna give you a basketball analogy.
All right.
Shakur Stevenson averaged about 25 points a game, right?
Okay.
But every game he scored about 23, 24, 27, 28. He just
Gotcha.
had a good baseline. With Teofimo averaged about 22 points a game. Some games he only have 10, but other games he got 50. You
Gotcha.
understand what I'm trying to say?
It's a good one. Yeah.
So they fight, and your logic says the more consistent fighter wins. But with Teofimo show up and he's on that 50-point night,
Yeah. What if he not missing?
and you like, whoa, whoa, because the guy who showed up to Fort Josh Taylor, I was like, God damn. You understand what I'm trying to say? It's like, whoa. The first six rounds of the Loma fight, you like, whoa, this
Yep.
dude looks like a transcendent talent. And then he fights Jermaine Ortiz or Cambosos, and you're like, oh man, this guy is hot and cold. So I don't rule him out, and I think that Teofimo can make this fight very difficult for Shakur if he boxes Shakur.
But when you say it like that, what else would he do? He wouldn't like rough him up or anything, right?
Well, the thing is that the guys who've given Teofimo movement and the guys who've that he's tried to press, he hasn't looked good. But when
Mm.
he's made fighters come to him and he could kind of like line them up for his counter punches a little bit better. So he's obviously a fighter that likes you to come to him more than a fighter that likes to come to you and kind of stalk you down. So that's why I said that because Shakur is a boxer and Shakur is the one that's moving up in weight. But I don't think that Teofimo can beat Shakur trying to walk him down and rough him up. He had too much trouble with Jermaine Ortiz. But if he can somehow make Shakur come to him and more or less box him, I think that's a very interesting style matchup. And I'm not saying I favor Teofimo, but I don't look at it like Shakur just gonna just completely wash him either. I think it's a tough fight. And Teofimo, he got a clutch game. He's game. He showed up in big, big spots. And you got to take that in consideration. He don't really freeze up in the moment. He's hot and cold, but he don't freeze up. There's a little different than a guy who freezes up or of a guy who hot and cold. And if you get Teofimo on one of them 50-point nights, that's a tough fight because again, he fought like I've seen him have like perfect fights and perfect moments. The first 6 rounds of the Loma fight, that was perfect. Um, the Josh Taylor fight was perfect. The Arnold Barbosa fight, he didn't get touched. Those is 3 biggest fights. Richard Kami, when he first went in the title, just completely he YouTubed him, he highlight reeled him. You know what I mean? So you got to factor that in. We got to be objective and factor that in. And again, I trust Shakur more than I trust Teofimo if I'm betting my money because Shakur is not going to lose to a George Kambosos type. He's just not. He's not going to have that night. He's going to be more consistent. But Teofimo, the kind of guy you got to be careful going against him because in big moments he showed up. And I won a bunch of money on him versus Josh Taylor. I did. I thought Josh Taylor would get a little too slow. And Teofimo, for some reason, man, he got like a little weird thing where he's probably like better as the underdog and better when everybody's against him. Some people just crazy like that. I don't mean in a bad way. Like I know just can't be talking about mental health and stuff. I don't mean in a bad way. But some people mind is like they like it when everybody is against them. So that's a great fight. Hopefully we get it. No injuries, no stuff. That's a great fight. I love that fight. I'm not one of the people that say 2 boxers fighting is boring. I hate that. You know what I mean? I enjoyed watching Ray Leonard versus Wilfred Benitez, and I enjoyed watching Nonito Donaire versus Guillermo Rigondeaux. I enjoy watching fights where guys is trying moves and he boxing and he fainting and and Mike McCallum and James Toney. I enjoy them kind of fights. So hopefully, everything goes good and we get Shakur and Teofimo. It's a great fight. You know what I mean? I like the fight. I hope people don't try to stink it up and say, oh, they're going to run and not fight. Bro, they call boxers. It's called boxing. Like, these guys don't got to get brain damage to, put on a good performance. I think that's ridiculous. You can't even show defense these days without somebody criticizing you. I'm seeing people criticize Devin Haney. He moved up 3 weight divisions, fought the biggest puncher in the division, knocked him down, hurt him. He tried to stop him, and then he boxed a little bit. Like, you want him to get knocked out so you can laugh and say he don't have no IQ? He tried to entertain. He did the best version of entertainment he can do, you know what I
Right.
mean, while still being defensively responsible and showing his IQ. He can't just sit in a box like Joe Frazier and fight Brian Norman. Y'all want him to get knocked out. I don't get all of that. But hopefully they fight Teofimo and Shakur. I've been hearing rumblings of it. Did they get signed yet?
Not officially, but it's
Um, I
nothing much
don't really like getting excited about fights, man, until they get signed. But if they fight, I'll be tuning into that. It's an excellent fight.
for sure, man. Look, I appreciate you breaking it down. Appreciate you jumping on with me tonight. And please, definitely text me that guy because if you telling me I gotta check him out, I gotta check him out. So,
Orlando Canizales.
brother, you,
Orlando
you know I
Canizales.
can't spell that last name, man.
All right,
Text it to me,
I'm
man.
gonna find this fight on YouTube with Kelvin Seabrook, and I'm gonna send you the link.
All right, man. Appreciate you, man.
All right, bro.
My guy.